Haiti borders with the Dominican.
Her name is Serena Buffalino. They call her Mrs. B, and her class always begins with a pledge.
Something local, something global. Haiti.
They're words that carry weight here. Helping yourself means helping others, giving back, here and a world away in Haiti.
And nobody's helping them, except for people like us.
It was through her the class learned of Haiti, of the nearly 1 million orphans, many with no school, no support, no Mrs. B in their lives.
They could not wrap their head around that.
Mrs. B's students are among Toronto's most at risk. Their challenges vary from emotional and behavioral difficulties to learning disabilities. Their trauma so severe they can't function in a regular school setting, and we aren't allowed to show most of their classmates.
For most of the kids, most of society has turned them away. And in this classroom, they're accepted. They're accepted no matter what for who they are.
Take Yolanda. She came here last year so burdened and withdrawn, she would often fall silent, sometimes for days on end. It was, she says, Mrs. B's patience, her quiet encouragement, that saved her.
She actually saves people's lives from dangers.
And perhaps that's why these marginalized kids feel such a kinship with the orphans of Haiti, and why they were moved to act.
And so when Yolanda and Jackie and Patrick said, well, Miss B, we need to build them a school.
Build a school, no easy task. They started out raising money. They sold samosas, washed cars, screened movies, you name it. And in just a few months, this little class raised $20,000. So much, it's not just a one-room schoolhouse they can build, but a full 3-story school. And so Mrs. B set off on a journey she'd dreamed of, up into the dusty mountains above Port-au-Prince to a town called Canaan. It's home to thousands of earthquake refugees who live with no running water, no electricity, and no school, until now. The first step was a temporary school. It's up and running. 53 students already in uniform. The permanent school for 250 is growing from its foundations.
It makes me want to cry because she just makes me feel so awed, and I'm very proud of her.
All of this because of a handful of students back in Canada and Mrs. B, the teacher who believed in them.
These are for you.
At another fundraiser, a special tribute to the students, accepted by someone who, without Mrs. B, might not be here.
They believe in me and I believe in them, and together we not only change our lives, but we change the world around us.
For inspiring great things and seeing the potential in everyone, Serena Buffalino is this week's Everyday Hero.
This is the reason why I do what I do, is because of Yolanda and all the...
Good morning, everybody. Is my mute? Okay, I just want to make sure, because you know me, I come in, I be talking, get all excited, and then somebody says, Barbara, your mute button, we can't hear you. It's like, so I know I can hear me loud and clear. I don't see the mute button on. Yes. Happy Monday. Oh my God, it is Monday. Can you believe it is April 12th? Let's all say it together. April 12th. OMG. It's like every time I look at this calendar, I'm like, would you just kind of just calm down just a little bit? Can you just slow down just a little teeny bit? So because I got this list that I want to get done, and this is not helping. This is not helping. You're going too quick. But you know, we just got to just treasure every day. As I always tell people, no matter how fast, how slow it is, we need to treasure each day, each individual day. Now on the weekends, I'm part of, you've probably seen the commercial I showed a lot too, called Chemo Buddies for Life. And on every Saturday night in their group, in their Facebook group, I do what I call a Success Saturday. So every Saturday I come on for like an hour and I give different topics, kind of positivity, mostly positive. And I always ask them, the first thing is, please, in the, I hate to, because with Facebook, it's kind of, you don't know what to say anymore because you might get booted out. So I say, can you please just add your success for the week in the, where I'm talking about. That's what I always say, you know what I'm talking about. And they just come in, they flood it with their success and everything. And then some people will come and say, well, Barbara, I don't really have a really success this week. And I was like, okay, for the people and individuals that feel like they don't have success going on throughout the week, if you're typing in the chat right now, that's success, because that means you are breathing, you are moving, and you are typing with your hands. So I always tell people there's always, no matter what, you always have success that's going on in your life every single day. And I had to explain it to them, and they were like, well, yeah, now you got a point. So now if they can't find anything else, they reach and say, yeah, I'm breathing. So that's success right there. Breathing is a good thing. Breathing is a good thing. So if we have a packed show today, and we have, the wonderful, magnificent, the master of happiness, he's going to be coming. And then after that, we have Mrs. Trish Carr from Women's Prosperity Network. She comes on monthly, second Monday of every month. She comes on and gives us some good tips, some information about communication, how important communication is. I was just reminding somebody this weekend, they were like, yeah, they were talking over me. Okay. And that's one thing, that's a pet peeve of mine. That's a pet peeve of mine. Can't take when people talk over me. It's like, you're not listening. You're not listening. You're waiting for to say what you have to say. Listen to me. Just listen, just a little bit. So they were just talking and talking, talking. And I had to stop. And they were like, what? And I said, we got 2 ears and 1 mouth. Can you use your 2 ears? And they were looking at me like, really? Yes, really. Listen. So that's a tip from me to you today about communication, but you're going to get more from Trish, is listen to people. They're talking for a reason. Respect what they have to say. Please do respect it. But, I always have my quotes. I got them always ready. So today I'm going to be talking about failure. No person is a failure who is enjoying life. Enjoying life is one of the most important things you must give yourself permission to do. You can enjoy what you are doing, or you can complain about it, which that's kind of a waste of time, right? If you are complaining about something, change it. That's what it says. Change it. Flip it, I always say. Life is too short not to enjoy each and every moment of each and every day, rain or shine. Today, become a success. Choose to enjoy life and enjoy life. Enjoy life. Life is too short. I already talked about how it's April 12th already. We're going into the year already. We're going to be, I think we're like in quarter, like they say, quarterly. Yeah. So enjoy it. Stop complaining. Enjoy it. Whatever you're doing this day, even if you're just relaxing, if you're sleeping, if you say, oh, I missed the mark because I was sleeping or I was relaxing, you needed that. It's called self-care. Self-care. So with that, I think, let's see, what do I need to do right now? There's something on my list. Let me just double check, because I always have my little checklist here when I'm doing things. We got to start the show. Here we go. Yes. I'm not even going to say it no more. It's just one day you're going to come on and you're going to see Barbara's going to have a drum set. That's all I have to say. I'm invested in myself. I'm already looking. See, I put it out there. I've been saying it for a while now. I am looking. for a drum set. And then I got to look for an instructor. And then you know how that goes. But one day you're just going to be like, oh my gosh, she's in there. She's really playing the drums. So with that, we don't want to no further ado. Mr. Happiness is on his way right this second. And here we go. And remember, okay, I always got to tell people this. I don't know why, but we not need to. Pen, paper, take it out right now because you're going to need it because he's going to give you some good tips. And you know what? Just put that smile on your face as you watch him because you can't help but put a smile on your face when you watch Marty. He brings in the happiness. So here he comes.
Good morning, Barbara. Hello, everyone, and happy Monday. Happy Monday. It's Monday again. This is fantastic. Our week starts all over again. We get this chance every single Monday to take a break, slow it down a little bit, smile at the successes we had from our previous week, learn from those failures that we had in the past week, learn from those times that we fell, we tripped, things didn't go as well as they planned. But now it's Monday and we start all over. Everything that happened in the past has either taught us something or has been an incredible success. So Monday, we get to capitalize on that. So again, Monday, as you probably know, is my favorite day of the week. I love Monday mornings because we get to start all over again, a brand new, fresh step. So I am Marty Jalove with Master Happiness. And I want to remind everyone here that no matter what you're doing, you are always, always selling. And I hope to help you become better at selling through some of the stories I'm going to share with you every single Monday. So whether you are pitching a product or a service, whether you are negotiating for a better price on a car, or if you're trying to convince your kids that it's your turn to choose which restaurant we're going to, you are always, always selling. And I'll tell you what, friends, if you are not having fun doing that, you are selling too hard. So let's get right into this. A lot of people say that selling for them is a piece of cake. And I thought about that, and I went back to another one of my favorite mentors, a person early in my life who taught me so much without even realizing how much she was teaching me. And that was my mom. Now, in some interviews in the past, I talked about how my mom brought me to a flea market and taught me the basics of selling and just the exhilaration of the thrill of the hunt. But she taught me so much more. Now you can see behind me here, I've got a big cake. And if I was going to describe my mom with one word, it would be cake. Think about cake. Cake is always a celebration. If somebody pulls out a cake in front of you, you get excited. You're like, what's going on? Is there a party? Is it somebody's birthday or a wedding? I want you to take a moment and think about the most beautiful cake you've ever seen in your life. Maybe it was the wedding cake at your wedding or someone else's wedding. You know, those multiple tiers and just absolutely gorgeous. It becomes the centerpiece of the entire party. Imagine that. A piece of food becomes the centerpiece for an entire party. That's what cake does. Maybe your favorite cake was a birthday cake. Man, I can remember plenty of my birthdays in the past, and my mom would always put out this beautiful cake. And what was great about it was, you know, it would have candles reminding me how old I was, which I don't really care to see right now. But in the past, it was like so exciting. Like, oh my God, I just turned 5. I turned 5. Next year, I turned 6. Okay. It was always an exciting milestone in my life. And there was this beautiful cake, this beautiful dessert with my name on it. Cake was so amazing. And my mom almost surrounded her entire life with cake. She had cakes for all occasions, and you'd go through the entire year with somebody's birthday happening. I mean, I came from a family, there's got to be like 30, 35 people in my family, it seemed like at times. So it was always somebody's birthday, so we always had cake. But aside from that, my mom also always had coffee cake. She always had a little extra cake. So at nighttime, you could have a little piece of cake before you went to bed, and you could think about the wins you had during the day. But the coffee cake was also there in case somebody came over. We always had cake for guests. And cake was that thing that brought everyone to the table, and we'd sit there and we'd share some cake. They'd have coffee cake and a little cup of coffee, and they'd sit and chat. And as a little boy, I'd sit in the background and just watch my mom. And my mom, she owned the room. She ran that room. She was so cool. When that cake was in the middle, that was her instrument. That was the thing she used to rule that room. And I saw her do it not only in our house, but I saw her do it in other people's houses. We would show up to somebody's house and she would always bring a cake. And she goes, look, I brought a little cake. And we'd sit there and they'd cut the cake and they'd start talking. And I could see how my mom took control of the room. My mom was probably the best salesperson I've ever met in my entire life. She would sit there and she would talk to people and she would ask them lots of questions. She would make them feel really welcome, whether it was at our house or even at their own house. It was amazing. I would see my mom like get up and go get coffee for them and stuff at their house and just make them feel so warm. And cake had so much to do with that. She would always say, oh, I'll have a little piece of this cake and I'll have a little piece of this cake. And she just shared that whole thing. She made a wonderful connection because some people like specific types of cake. Some people like other types of cake. But my mom always made sure she had a little bit of everything. No matter what people brought or no matter what they were offering, she always had a little bit of everything to show there's a connection between them. That was so important to her. My mom also sat back and she listened a lot. She would sit there and just open her ears and go, oh my gosh, what an amazing story. Or, oh my gosh, what do you need from me? How can I help you? She was so perfect at listening to people, taking the time, and not trying to push her agenda. When it was her turn to talk, my mom was very intelligent. She was well thought out. She had lots and lots of ideas that she would share with people. And I saw people in awe going, oh, wow, that's a great idea. I never thought of that. And my mom also had this infectious laugh. She would giggle and laugh. She would share some jokes. She would love to sing with people. She sometimes would dance. For us at our house, we always seemed to have a party at different times. And it was just her way to keep those people entertained. Now, through life, as I was getting older, as all children do, I would rebel a little bit. And around Thanksgiving was the only time of the year that cake took the back seat and pie came up in the front. And I love pie. There was something about pie that just made me crazy. That was the thing that separated me from my mom. I used to say to her all the time, why don't we have pie more often? I love pie. I mean, after all, there was cream pie, there were meat pies, there were fruit pies, there were all kinds of pies. Pies was just such a treat. And she would shake her head, no, Martin, cake. I want you to always remember about cake. Cake is what they want. People want cake. Stop pushing the pie. And I was like, what do you mean stop pushing the pie? I love pie. But as I look back, I started realizing everyone would get around the cake and eat cake. And I would enjoy that pie, that slice of pie, pumpkin pie, sweet potato pie. I even ate raisin pie one time, which I highly do not recommend you ever eat raisin pie. But apple pie, blueberry pie, all that. But I found myself kind of sitting alone. People are like, yeah, that pie looks good, but I like cake. And I found that everyone was around cake. It's when it came to me. After some time, I thought about it, and I realized kind of what she was trying to teach me. And that is this. People want cake. People want a connection. They want to feel like they're around people that they know and they connect with, that they have something similar with, something in common with. And my mom was so good at that. She would bring those cakes and she would sit there and chat with them. People want affirmation. My mom would listen to them and say, what's going on in your life? And she would agree with them. She probably coined the old improv saying, yes, and long before improv was ever invented. Okay, she would say, yeah, tell me more. Oh, and this. And she would go on and on and on. This is the type of person she was. She would also give them lots of knowledge. That's the K in cake. And she was so entertaining. I looked upon that. I thought, wow, she was a master at this. She could command the room and she could get those people to fall in love with her. She had so much confidence that those people fell in love with her. And from that point, she had the ability to sell them anything. Or at least I thought she had the ability to sell them everything. Now, as I grew up, and like I said, I learned from her and I saw how she advertised her prowess, her ability to sell, and how she went out after the market. I said, I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive, and I'm going to go with my identity, which is similar to this, but of course different. I went after pie, and pie is just a little bit different. What I would do is I would serve them pie. I would try to persuade people. I would inform them, which was giving them the knowledge that they want, and I would entertain them just like she would. But rather than making the connection and the affirmation, I went right to persuade. And I remember my mom sitting me down one day and saying, Martin, Martin, Martin. She was one of the few people who called me Martin. The rest of you, please call me Marty. But she would sit there and she'd say, look, imagine this party. And that party is your sales meeting. That party is your greeting of just meeting a bunch of people. Because you never know who you're going to meet, who's the next person who's going to make a solid connection with you, or it's the next business opportunity, the next job, etc. She said, imagine the people who walk into a party. The people who entertain, who walk in there and start telling jokes, they're going to go, oh my gosh, yes, I want that person to come. Think of Barbara, okay? Barbara is entertainment. You know, Barbara comes in, she is bubbly, she's smiling, she's giggling. She's just a bundle of entertainment. And you see Barbara and you say, oh my gosh, I want to hang out with Barbara. I want to talk with her because it's so fun to be with Barbara. And that's the type of person, when she comes into a party, people flock to her because they know they're going to be entertained. Now, the next type of person is the informer, the type of person who's filled with knowledge and they're willing to share their knowledge and tell stories. And let's take a look at my buddy Barry, who comes on Wednesdays here. Barry is just a genius, just a mind full of incredible ideas and thoughts and knowledge just overflowing. And what's beautiful about Barry is he's willing to share all that knowledge and he informs people. Barry thinks he's funny, but he's really not that funny. But Barry can really inform. He can fill you with knowledge. And he's the type of guy at a party, you walk to Barry because he's always got a fun fact. He's always got a reason for you to go talk to him because you're going to learn something from Barry. I have never talked to Barry for less than 30 seconds without learning something from him. He's another type of the guy that at a party, you flock towards. Now, the last one is persuade. And that was me most of my life. What I would do is I would come right in and say, I'm going to go for the kill. I'm going to sell you something. Now imagine going to a party and I walk up to you and I go, hey, Debbie, Sally, Frank, whatever. I got this great new gimmick here. Today we're selling these rubber chickens. They're fantastic. They make a lot of noise and you're going to absolutely love them. They're great toys for the dogs, etc. Well, people are suddenly going, oh my gosh. Every time Marty comes to the party, he's always trying to sell me something. He's always trying to push me. Do this, do that. It's always a pyramid scheme. The last time he had a pyramid scheme where he was actually selling us pyramids. Okay, what ends up happening after a time is people start avoiding you at the party. And if you become too persuasive, too pushy, what ends up happening is you're the type of person who's no longer invited to the party. And I'm standing outside looking through the window, looking at people who entertain like Barbara or like my mom, looking at people who could inform and give knowledge to everyone like my friend Barry or like my mom. I look at that and rather than delivering pie, being the persuasive person, I could look at this saying, how do I affirm people's beliefs? How do I listen? How do I empathize with them so that they feel comfortable talking to me? That's what it's all about. Being like the type of person my mother was. Most importantly is concentrate on making a connection, a sincere connection. Okay, don't go out of my way and don't try to create yourself to be something. Build yourself into something you're not. Be yourself and find people that you can make a solid connection with. Those are going to be your future customers. Those are going to be your loyal customers because you've made a solid connection to them. And I realized my mom was welcome to every party, every organization. They went for her. When they made that list for people to come to the party, her name was at the list. And the reason was because she could entertain, she was knowledgeable, she affirmed their feelings, she made them feel good, and she was always making connections to these people. Those of us who concentrate too much on persuading, we concentrate on selling, we're saying that's our goal, is to close the sale. Our goal is to close the sale. I'm going to say it one more time. When we consider our goal is to close the sale, that's when we stop getting invited. Think about what type of person you would want to be locked in an elevator with. Would you want to be locked in an elevator with somebody who's telling jokes and just is happy and entertaining and convinces you to do a sing-along? Would you want to be trapped in an elevator with somebody who's informative and explains to you, there's nothing to worry about the elevator. There's multiple breaks in the elevator. Soon somebody's going to come and rescue us, etc. Someone who's knowledgeable and confident. Yeah. Or would you want to be stuck in an elevator with someone who's persuasive, that's saying, hey, since I've got you here, let me tell you about my new product? How awful that would be. So, as much as I absolutely love pie, I want you guys to concentrate on being cake. If you want to be a great, great salesperson, if you want to move people in your direction, nudge people to follow your direction, listen to the way my mom used to run that room. She'd make connections with people all the time. And you do that by asking questions. Say, what's new in your life? What's going on? What do you love to do? And you find little nuggets that connect to you, something that you can build upon. Make affirmations. In other words, talk to them about what's going on in their life. What's the things that are affecting them emotionally? And empathize with them. Make them feel good. Of course, be knowledgeable because the connections you're making are legitimate and sincere. So these are talking points that you can actually add to the conversation. That's when you're going to be knowledgeable. You're going to become the expert in that field. And lastly, sprinkle it all with entertainment. Be the type of person who's always smiling. Be the type of person who they long to be with because you're always in a good mood. Now, it took me years to learn this. And I look back and I laugh and I go, oh my gosh, she was teaching me something all the time. Every time she said, have a piece of cake, have a piece of cake. I used to sit there going, is this why I got heavy? Was of all that cake? Well, you know what? All that cake taught me a lesson. I watch my weight as much as I can. In fact, I keep my belly out in front of me so it's easier to watch. And I look at that and I think about all the cake my mom used to feed me. And I say, thank you for that, because I learned how to do something incredibly special. The most important lesson she ever taught me was this, is stop selling to these people and put them in a position where they want to buy from you. Think of that. Stop selling to them. Stop being so pushy and persuasive. Put them in a position where they come and they want to buy from you. And you do that with cake, definitely not pie. So last week when I was here, I put a link up for you to get something. And I'm leaving that up there. I'm going to show this to you again. This is a sheet. It's a goal sheet that I have all my clients take a look at. And I want you to really do this. Notice that it's a circle, kind of like a pie or a cake. All right. I want you to think about that. And I want you to really put some effort to this. I want you to download this and I want you to put your ultimate goal in there. And some of your goals might be, I'm going to be a little less pushy. I'm going to be a little less persuasive. I'm going to work on those connections and those affirmations. Sometimes it's really difficult when you're saying, I got to hit a sales number. I've got to get this accomplished. But I tell you instead, slow it down a little bit. Have fun with it. So you're going to put your main goal in the center and you're going to work your way out of the circle. Download this. It's all self-explanatory. But what you're going to do is you're going to find the things you need to do today, the things you need to do this week, this month, this quarter, this year in order to hit your 5-year goal, your 10-year goal, and your ultimate goal. Now, I look back and I would love to say that my mom's ultimate goal was to teach me how wonderful cake was compared to pie. Maybe she was doing it consciously or subconsciously. I don't know. But now that I'm older and I have children of my own and I've seen how I interact with customers, I have to admit, I'm slowly becoming more of a cake guy. So for those of you who want this sheet, what I want you to do is go directly to this site, masterhappiness.com, The Secret, and this will pop up here. And you'll see under here, this television, you'll see a little diamond, and that's a special little link designed just for the diamond factor. No one else knows what it's about. Only you know what it's about. You click on that and you'll be able to download that sheet. In future episodes, I'm going to change that sheet. So we're going to have some other things. So this goal sheet will not be there that long. I want you to grab that, download that right away, and have a great time. So again, this is Marty Jalove with Master Happiness, reminding you, if you're not having fun, you are selling way too hard.
Life is so fragile, and we're constantly reminded just how fragile life can be, especially when we or a loved one is told we have cancer. Cancer survivor myself, I can tell you, we still feel very alone in this journey.
There's a study that's been shown that patients who are socially isolated have a worse prognosis, have a worse outcome than patients who are socially interconnected.
Buddies for Life is a non-profit cancer support group for those whose life has been impacted by cancer. We'll match you with the perfect buddy. Humor, hope, heart, and hugs.
Humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a whole lot of love.
We're offering you a free membership, so please sign up today. Share this with your friends and family, and support this community in every way you can. No one should face cancer alone.
I am a Chemo Buddy for life.
We are a Buddies Network.
No one does cancer alone.
Be a buddy.
And we are all here for you as a community of love.
We are Chemo Buddies for life.
And if you've heard 3 words, you have cancer, for yourself or someone else, you belong with us at Chemo Buddies for life.
Healing through connections.
Wow, Mr. Marty, or should I call him Martin? No, he's going to be like, no, tell people not to tell him. Okay, I found out some good stuff from Mr. Marty this morning. First of all, I loved how he said he watches his weight. His stomach is out, and that's how he watches his weight. Well, Marty, you're not the only one that's doing that, because right now I look down and it's like, okay, this is ridiculous that something is more out there for a woman is out there more so than our, if you get what I'm saying. I can see the stomach before I can see something else. And I was like, I said, I hate this. And COVID, which okay, we shouldn't be blaming it on COVID. A lot of people are. They're talking about the COVID pounds and all that because they're staying in the house and it's like you're eating everything around you. You see everything, you're like, okay, whatever, while you're sitting there doing what you do. I've been doing, I have to say, I really have been reaching more so for water and for fruit, more so than the other things that I was reaching for. Now, one thing, another thing for myself, which I thank myself for all the time is I'm not a snack person. You know how some people eat potato chips and cookies and all that throughout the day? I don't do that. My problem is, is the meal, is the main meal. Because first of all, I love Italian food. So that's just like a whole downfall. I mean, we're talking about spaghetti and fettuccine and pizza and oh my God, and lasagna, and the list goes on. So sometimes I get myself in trouble for that. But yeah, Marty, I can understand about, we're watching our weight through our stomach. So that is telling me more and more. I said, okay, Barbara, you can't have that pasta today. And then you talking about food. Marty, really? You talk about some cake? Really? Thank you very much. But you know what? If you were selling to me, just to let you know, because see, there's individuals selling too. I would prefer more of the pie because I love sweet potato pie. I do. I love sweet potato pie. So if Marty came to me and said, Barbara, you know what? I got this cake, and it's now I'd probably buy the cake too if there's vanilla, icing and vanilla inside. Yeah, of course, you'll probably get me with that. But if he told me, and I also have a sweet potato pie, Marty, you got me. You sold me. How much? That's what I would be. So I'm an easy sell when it comes to pies and cakes. Back to the stomach, right? So we're going to go right into our next wonderful, and I call all the ladies that come on this show, and just not even coming on the show, but just in general, because they're royalty. I call them Queen Diamonds. So we have our Queen Diamond today, Miss Trish Carr, as always. She comes on once a month. And, I just have to thank her again because I always appreciate people, first of all, that's supporting this show. We're growing. We are growing, to let everybody know. I mean, last month I told everybody it was at 30,000 viewers. 30,000 viewers. I was like, what? The first thing I asked the president of E360 TV, I was like, okay, where are they coming from? I mean, I know I'm promoting on Facebook, and LinkedIn, we do, but I didn't know I had to, reach. It's like somebody's telling somebody that's telling somebody, and I'm loving every minute of it. But it's like, okay, can we multiply that now? I want to know where these people are coming from. But these are wonderful people. I mean, they're coming, they're watching the show, they're enjoying the show, and I'm just so happy. But one thing I would love to ask all the viewers out there is that these experts come on and they take the time to come on to give you skills and tips from their experience, from their genius. I always talk about the diamond factor, how that's your gifts and your talents. Well, they have wonderful, tremendous talents. Don't let it go to waste. Reach out. See, the next thing is, do they come on, they give you information, but then the next step that I would love everybody to do is an action item. Is to reach out to these wonderful experts. Because like I said, they do what they do because they create and help people move forward in their lives. They help elevate you. So just a little tip, and I'm always telling people too, take out the pen, take out the paper, write notes, write it down. You have to be like me. I'm older now, so I always gotta have a piece of paper and pen next to me. I can't remember like I used to when I was younger. I mean, I have a pad everywhere. I have a pad in my kitchen, I have a pad in my car, because if anybody's telling me something, I always have to get the notes. I have to write them down. So write the notes down. Right. Trish is mountain full of information and knowledge. And she's giving it to you today. So please write that down, and let's see now. I always want to make sure I'm doing what I need to do. Okay, there we go. So we are going to bring Miss Queen Diamond in right now. Here she comes.
So imagine this. Imagine life is good and we're all getting together again. And we're doing so many more things in person. And you're at a party. How fun is that? You're at a party and you're hanging out and having fun with people, and you have a cocktail in your hand or whatever your favorite beverage is, and talking about food. There's all this great food on the table, and you're trying not to stand by the table where all the food is, but you can't help yourself, and you're dipping and you're tasting, and everything is so good. And then you get into this conversation with this other woman, and the next thing you know, you're having such a good time. The two of you have so much in common. You like the same music. You're both wearing a similar outfit that you both look awesome in. And you're like, oh my God, those shoes. I love those shoes. You start talking about the TV shows that you watch. Somehow you get into conversation about the TV show Empire and how you're so upset that you can never find out what happened with Lucius and Cookie because it went off the air. And you're just having a blast. And then the conversation moves to work. And you share a little bit about what you're up to and what you do. And the woman you're talking to is so impressed with what you have and what you're doing and the difference that you're making for people. And she said, you know what? I am so glad I met you. You know, this is serendipity because I happen to be the president of the association that all of your industry is a part of. In fact, tomorrow we're having our international convention. I have 1,000 people coming. All are your potential clients, every single one of them. And you know, as one door closes, another one opens. Today I got word that one of my speakers isn't going to be able to make it. And I have a slot open for someone to do a 60-minute presentation, and you can be in front of the audience. Would you like to do that? Now, how do you feel? Are you like, oh, I love it. I can't wait. I'm so excited. How lucky am I got to meet you? Or are you more like that little boy Kevin in Home Alone? Whichever you're at, whether it's yay, I'm excited, or oh my gosh, the answer is always yes. Yes, I'd love to fill that gap for you. I would love to make a difference for your audience. Thank you so much for that opportunity. So it's always yes, and then you figure out how later. And what I want to share with you today is how. The how. The 3 keys that if you always remember them, you will always rock it from the stage. And it's so great because Marty was talking about the cake, and I'm going to give you the icing. Because this is how you do it. This is how you communicate with people so that they want to hear you. This is how you have a conversation with people so they're sitting on the edge of their seat and they're going, I want to work with her. I have to have whatever it is. Here's my credit card. Because here's the thing, communication skills, and specifically influential communication skills, is the answer to everything. You know, Warren Buffett, he is a multi-billionaire. In fact, his net worth just hit $100 billion. And here's the cool thing I love about Warren Buffett is he's a really down-to-earth kind of guy. Like, he drives a small car, he lives small, he doesn't have houses all over the world. His children all have to have jobs. Like, he lives a life like a normal person for as much as you can with $100 billion. And one of the things that he says is that the fastest, easiest way to increase your net worth by 50% or more is to get really, really good at communication. So I'm going to give you 3 keys right now. And Barbara said, get a pen. So definitely get a pen. And on the side of your page, I want you to write KEY, because I'm going to give you 3 keys. And the first one starts with a K, and it's keep them focused. Keep them focused. When you are on a stage, no matter where you are, and there are many people there, whether that stage is right here on social media, or whether that stage is on Zoom or Skype or some other platform, and you're doing it online, there are so many distractions. If you're in person, the person next to them is talking to them, there's water being poured over there, people are getting up and down. Your job is to keep them focused. And the way you do that, number 1, is by you being focused. You being focused means you being prepared. And when you are prepared, it means that you have a way of speaking to groups that you're comfortable with, that you can use over and over again, that you have some kind of a formula. I love formulas. I was a 4.0 student in math because it was all formulas. A plus B always equals C. 1 plus 1 always equals 2. It's never 1 plus 1 equals 3, ever. So everything I do, I have a formula. And I have a formula for speaking from the stage. I have a formula for doing a 2-minute video on social media. I have a formula for doing a video on YouTube. It's the same formula over and over again. The topic may change, the audience I'm speaking to may change, but the formula is always the formula, and I can quickly plug and play my topic and my audience into that formula. So, you know, one of my clients, Gladys, so Gladys runs a company called Heart's Desire International, and she and her twin sister run Heart's Desire because they really want women in particular to find that person of their dreams, to find their soulmate, whoever that might be. So they have workshops and classes and ways that they can support women in finding exactly that. So Gladys, I met her, about 5-6 years ago now. And she came to one of our workshops for, it's a 2-day workshop called The Business of Speaking. You can actually see it over my head right there. The Business of Speaking. And we actually show you the formula and how to do it and all that good stuff. And you don't have to come to the workshop to learn the formula. I'm actually going to give it to you in a URL that you can go ahead and download the formula. So give me a minute and I'll give you that URL. But Gladys came to the workshop and she was so disappointed because the week before, she's the one who speaks. So the week before, she flew from South Florida to California, all the way across the country on her own dime to go and speak at a women's success summit or some kind of a summit where women were coming together. And there were hundreds of women in the room. And she'd been speaking for a while and was starting to feel good about how she was doing. And she gets to California, she gets on the stage, she thinks she rocks the room, she walks off the stage, everybody goes, "Oh, great job, Gladys." They're patting her on the back. "Gladys, that was so good." And they all wanted to talk to her, but nobody bought anything she talked about. So she came home dejected, and she came to the workshop because she wanted to see what it was that she needed to get better at. Well, I can tell you that after learning the formula that keeps you focused, which keeps your audience focused, after learning the formula, in the workshop, she came up with, one of the things we do is we look at your products and services. She came up with a whole new package. She practiced in front of the room of the training class, and she sold $1,200 worth of products and services at the workshop. Because she looked at her stuff and she looked at her pricing, she looked at her formula, and just by practicing, she made money. In the next 30 days, she made $10,000 on the product she came up with at the workshop. And since then, she's brought almost $250,000 into her business because she learned the formula. So I invite you to learn the formula. In fact, you can go to, we want to write this down, it's speakingforfunandprofit.com, Speaking for Fun and Profit, and you should see it rolling down on the screen below you. So when you get that formula, you'll be able to do the K, and the K is keep them focused by you being focused, you being prepared, and you having a formula. All right, let's go to the E now. The E is engage. Engage. And I think as I'm looking at what Marty Jalove talked about, he talked about cake. And that's where the entertain comes in. That's engage. That's connecting with people. That's really knowing that you're speaking to people and you want to work with them. You want to build some rapport. And really, it's about, you know, when we talk about speaking, I was saying some of you might be going, "Oh, no, I'm so nervous." Or some of you might be going, "Yay, I'm excited to get that gig tomorrow." But here's the thing. It's because we're so focused on ourselves. It's like, "Oh, what am I going to talk about? What am I going to say? Oh, my gosh, what am I going to wear?" You know, you go into all the things in your head, and all you're thinking about is yourself. So to engage people, you've really got to switch your focus. Your focus has got to go from inward to outward. It has to go from me to them. Who am I dealing with? Who are they? What can I share with them that's important to them? In fact, in my book, and many of you are aware, this is a book that I wrote many years ago with my good friend Debbie Silverman, and it's called It's Just a Conversation: What to Say and How to Say It in Business. And yes, it's just available on Amazon, but it's written so that you can go to the chapter you need for the situation that you're in. So one of the things we talk about in the book really early on is about this thing, which is engaging with your audience, because engaging builds rapport. And rapport, we said, rapport is absolutely necessary for any successful business conversation. Without rapport, sales don't happen, negotiations don't work, job interviews don't succeed, and businesses stop thriving. And that's what happens when you're not engaging your audience. And it is a bit of entertainment at the same time. You want to make sure that your audience knows that they're listening to you, that you are listening to them, that you are listening to them, that you understand where they're at, you understand their problems, you understand their challenges, you understand the desires that they have, that they're all on a path to fulfill. So engage is the E, and that's by really building rapport with your audience. The third key, which is the why, is you. It all comes down to you. And what I mean by that is it's you being you, not you being me, not you being Brene Brown, not you being Oprah, not you being the speaker that you admire. It's not you being, hey, this is what they told me to say word for word. That doesn't sound like you. That sounds canned. That sounds salesy. Nobody wants to be sold to. So while techniques and how you speak to people is really important, you've got to take those words and make them your own, because it has to come from you. And it's all about your heart, isn't it? It's all about you being the real person that you are, the authentic, vulnerable, truthful, honest, open-hearted person that you are. These keys can take you far in life. When you're on the stage, you'll use them to remember to keep them focused by you being focused, you being prepared, and you having a formula. And again, you can get that formula. I want you to jump on this and go to speakingforfunandprofit.com and get your formula. You know, at Women's Prosperity Network, it's all about knowing what to say and how to say it and doing it from the heart. So the K is keep them focused. The E is engage, so that you build rapport, so that they understand who you are, so that they understand that you understand them, because the focus is there, outward rather than inward. And then the why, of course, the why is you. The why is you being authentic, being your truthful self, and opening your heart, because those connections, and what Marty was talking about, connections, affirmation, knowledge, entertainment, that's the cake. And when you're standing on front of a stage, or you're standing in front of you as I am today on social media, the cake is delicious. And I want you to want the cake. I want you to make the cake to be beautiful. So remember, keep them focused, engage, and entertain, and be your authentic self. Those are the three keys to influential, to captivating communication. And every time you do it on the stage and one-on-one with people, you will have the success that you're looking for. Be sure to go to speakingforfunandprofit.com And I will see you at Women's Prosperity Network. And thank you so much for your attention. Go out there and make the difference you are meant to make.
I'm hanging on your every word, the love inside, I feel it burn. I've never felt this way before. I've had a taste, now I want more. So here we are, just you and me. I'm overwhelmed when you touch me. You talk so sweet, I hear the sound, 'cause when you do, my feet won't touch the ground. My feet won't touch the ground.
Oops. I'm back. I'm just back here enjoying all the good knowledge and tips. And first we went to cake. See, it's funny, if people heard this and they weren't really paying attention, they'll be like, okay, you got cake, and then Mari said about cake, and then Trish came and said about icing. They probably, if they really wasn't paying attention. But you know what? It's not a cookie so far as like eating like this, but it's more of a knowledge, like getting that knowledge in your brain. And I'm loving the key. Keep them focused, engage in you. I love it, love it, love it. That's one thing. If you can't keep anybody engaged, I mean, keep them focused on you, then I don't care what you're saying. If it's selling, if it's giving them, just some motivation, if it's encouraging somebody, they're gonna check out. People check, and it's funny because people are checking out more lately than ever right now. I mean, I think they said there's might be maybe a 30-second attention span or something like that, and it's all of a sudden they're like, whoop, whoop, they're going to other things like oh, look over here, oh, look over there, the shiny object for that moment. So you have to really make sure that you are keeping them focused, engaging with people, talking to people, and just be you. Just be you. So with that, see, I told you the shows are always so good. I love them, love them, love them. Thank you, Marty. Thank you, Trish. I'll see Trish next month, and I'll see Marty next Monday. We'll see both of them. But with that, I want to end with this. I have a quote or something that can encourage, to kind of make you think throughout the day, to say, that was something good. I want to really just hone in on that. We're talking about affirmations all the time. We're talking about listening to positive things. There's too many negatives. Okay, we can talk the negatives forever, but let's really hone in on. I always call it flip it. If you hear anything, even yourself, when you're talking, you got that little gremlins in your back of your mind saying, you didn't do this. Flip that to something positive. So last week I was talking about love and how we need love in the world right now. This world is hurting. It really is hurting. There's just so many things going on, and with the pandemic and everything else, and the racism, and then the government, it's just like on and on and on. And I'm come here to bring the love through everyone, not just to certain individuals, but everybody. I want to just keep pushing that and telling people, show love towards your fellow sister and brothers out there. We're all sisters. To me, we're all sisters and brothers. So let's show that love. Show that love. And I'm going to end it off with this because I thought it was a really nice passage. It said, pure love is genuine and does not contain if or buts. It simply is love. Pure love requires nothing in return. True love is felt needing to receive nothing and wanting nothing from another. Pure love is when you simply love with no motives, no judgments, no assumptions on what will be. People who require another to do certain things, say certain things, and become a certain type of person are manipulators. Ooh, you don't want to be that. That is not love. It is control. True love is unconditionally, requires no ifs or buts. Today become loving, requiring nothing in return. So when you're loving somebody, when you're calling somebody, when you're talking to somebody, when you just want to just say, you know what, I was thinking about you, don't look for the return cycle of it. It's going to come anyway. Just put it out there. Just put your love out there. And as I always say, that always respect everybody's genius and gifts in life. That's what I call the PPD. Your purpose, your passion, and your drive in life. I call that the foundation. When you know that, and when people respect that, and when you say your purpose, and you say your gifts and your genius to people, believe me, you're not only helping yourself grow and move forward in your life, but you're helping others through your gifts and talents. Each and every one of you out there has an awesome gift and talent. Each and every one of you. So just show up and show out on it. And that's what I call the PPD, the diamond factor. So that's with that, you know when to go there. Shine today, shine for Monday, shine throughout the week. We will see you on Wednesday. We have, as we always have, we have our experts coming on Wednesday. Mr. Barry Mixon, he's going to be coming on, always talking about the good stuff with the gems and making us understand the relationships between them and the relationships between each other, and understanding that, you know, we're tough. We could be tough, but, you know, if there's some things that might be, then we need to look at that. So Barry's going to come and really explain that. He's going to talk about, I think he said, because we always talk about what his weekly shows. And I think he's coming with durability this week. So that's going to be interesting. That is going to be interesting, having durability in your life. And then after that, we're going to have Mrs. Laura Armstrong. She's going to be giving us the goods when it comes to relationships regarding how people are. Are they an action person? Are they a knowledgeable person? I mean, what is their bank code, as we call it? Crack the code in people's lives so you can know and understand how you're talking to people and what they like, what they don't like, what they don't want to hear. That's all the good stuff that she'll give us on Wednesday. So coming on Wednesday, tell everybody to come to the Diamond Factor Experience Show with Barbara Beckley and experts and guests, as I always say, because it takes a team to build a show and to make it value. Make it value. So today, just go out there, show your love, show your Jesus, be excitement, have excitement, be excited about life. And remember, you always have a success in your life. You always have a success in your life. I will see you on Wednesday. Take care.